break when the triangle's still there, Kelly?
Nearly as good as my break in the last match, Phil. Yeah, I don't think anybody will be making any balls with the triangle left on, that's for sure.
So, Kelly, these two are, like yourself, in need of wins.
Yeah, it's a bit of a battle down at that bottom half. That's what they're so little in it that every match, every rack counts, and you know, I think, including myself, we know that. And when strange things happen, or you know, you miss a shot or whatever, it really does seem to punish you. And you've just got to be on top form. Today is a crucial day, I think, for all the players that are going to be fighting it out tomorrow on that bottom section.
In many respects, this is a spying mission for you because you play Oliver Szolnoki much later on today over on table 2. So maybe you can pick up a few pointers about strengths and weaknesses. He seems very methodical and intense, a player with good concentration.
Yeah, I've seen him play a couple of times, predominantly in the World Championships. Prior to that, I'd actually not seen much of him, and very impressive game. He played very well in the World Championships, and here I don't think he's performed as well as I thought he would have. However, I mean, we know it's such a tough competition, a tough field. But yeah, I'll be looking, Phil. I'll be looking, see if I can pick anything up.
He actually won his first 2 matches on Monday, but then it's been more of a struggle.
Extension code.
So what do you make of Eklund Kachi turning up late then? That was a bit of a turning point right at the start of the day.
Yeah, I was in my room and I put on the live stream, and to hear that he wasn't there, I couldn't believe it. I don't know what happened, Phil. What was the reason?
Well, it was plain and simply just overslept. The rule is basically if you're not on time, you get docked a frame. You've then got a quarter of an hour. After that, you're going to be docked a frame every 5 minutes. So it could have been a little worse than it was.
Well, he obviously must have overslept because I think he was still half asleep in his match. He lost 5-1, I believe, and then even the next match, you know, it's impossible to have the right preparation by rushing to a game from snoozing. But really, to be honest, I mean, great guy, love him to bits, but you can't do that as a professional. He's young, maybe that will, will be a little lesson learned, really.
Well, this is a very efficient opening rack from Szolnoki. Never hurried, always methodical, and you never really expected him to miss that 9 ball. So the young man from Hungary leads Skyler Woodward 1-0. Now fiercely protecting his 100% record is Albin Auschen, but now it's really jeopardised. He's 3-0 down to David Al-Kaidi. At the very least, he's at the table here with a chance to start to make amends. But the 3 ball comes away from the pocket.
Well, the consistency of Albin, I mean, that's amazing to, over the 3 days, to have, not lost a match in this calibre of play, and race to 5 as well. So hats off to him. Both himself and... Who is it at the top with him?
Well, Joshua Phillips won 9
right.
out of 10, and he's played brilliantly, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. I mean, Albin's had a couple of close encounters, had a couple of scrappy matches where it could have gone either way, whereas, Joshua actually has kind of been playing it quite exceptional. So
Extension,
I believe that Joshua and Albin have played, And Albin won that match. Is that right?
He did 5-4. It was last night over on table 2, and I must say he was extremely fortunate in the deciding rack. Tactically, Filler was completely on top, and he kept putting Auschen in trouble. And in each occasion, Auschen was kicking and getting the ball safe. It was remarkable. Then, of course, when Filler made his first mistake, it was a scratch, and that was that.
Well, you know, in races to 5, in 9-ball as a whole, if the gods are with you, you can really, I mean, every tournament that I've won, I can honestly say there's been fortunate matches where I could have, possibly should have lost. And to win an event, I think that's always the case. You know, there's going to be that. You've got to have the luck on your side. And the likes of such as Kachi and Max Lechner, they've really struggled with their play. But not only that, if you watch the matches, you see quite a bit of unfortune going their way as well. You know, it's a funny turn of events.
So at least Auschen's got one rack on the board. If he wriggles out of that one with a win, then we can start to think about that magic 15 out of 15, which right at the start of the week seemed entirely unobtainable.
I wonder what the odds in the betting shop would have been for that.
Astronomical.
Even 10 out of 15, I would have said that the odds would have been huge.
Of course, you've got two separate camps here today. You've got the players who are right at the top of the standings, who are trying to make hay and get as many points as possible to carry over. And then you've got the likes of Szolnoki and Skyler Woodward, and indeed yourself, Kelly. You're just focusing at the moment on trying to sneak into the top 10 at the end of tomorrow. And I think they're the ones who are under most pressure.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm feeling it. Yesterday, strange little day for me. Yesterday evening just didn't feel in the zone, if you like. So today I've come out, I feel much better. That last match certainly didn't go my way. I did miss one silly shot and a relatively straightforward bank that really come off real straight. It surprised me actually how straight it come off. But I do have to admit that I did have a little bit of bad luck with a 7-ball that I did bank on the long bank and scratched in the opposite pocket to where it really could have scratched, and it fluked the 9. So it wasn't meant to be. I've got to look forward to this evening and try and get a couple of wins under my belt in the 2 matches I have this evening.
Yes, that scratch was particularly unfortunate. Nothing unfortunate about Skyler Woodward's missed 2-ball though. Okay, it was from distance, but it wasn't really the best of strokes.
We're seeing it over and over again, Phil. I mean, every time I'm watching, I'm noticing there's definitely some unexpected misses. That's the best way I can put it. But that's, in any sport, you're going to get that when you're watching numerous match after match, especially races to 5. The pressure's on. And the table, you know, we've got tight pockets and it's playing quite fast. Yeah, there's been quite a few unusual results and quite a lot of unexpected misses and mistakes by most all players.
So, Kelly, you're still very much involved in this tournament. Of course you are. What's next for you after this?
Well, I'm going to America, and I have a couple of exhibitions in Denver with myself and Alison and a couple of other players. I believe Shane's there also. And then followed by going to Minneapolis for a WPBA ranking event. Followed by Las Vegas for the Predator Open, which is against the guys. And after that is the Predator WPBA ranking event, women. So it's a busy month. I've got a full month there. And then come back and we have the Matchroom event next, which is the UK Open.
It is indeed. That's in May, yes. Well, the missed 2 ball from Woodward could well cost him this rack. Should cost him this rack.
The event actually that I was referring to, Phil, I'm just looking it up there. It's the World Pool Championships that's directly after I get back from America. I'm going straight to it.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good 5-day event.
That's right, that's April 5th through 9th.
Yeah, the World 9-Ball Championship has real cachet. And this man, I think, made his name in last year's World 9-Ball Championship, and he's doing okay for himself here today. Oliver Szolnoki leads Skyler Woodward by 2 racks to 0. And over on table 2, the unbeaten record of Albin Aushin is now teetering. 4-1 down to David Al-Kadi. Aushin, though, fighting so hard to try and possibly pull this out of the fire. But the law of averages are very much against him, Kelly.
Yes, it's an alternate break. So certainly David will have his opportunities from the break, even if Albin was to win this rack, before it's possible for Albin to break and run to win. So the odds are against him, but we've seen it happen time and time again. So let's see if he can pull it out the bag.
Yes, we've seen recoveries in this tournament from 4-1 down. We haven't seen a 4-0 deficit overturned. Given his mindset, the way he approaches the game, there's no way that Aushin will be waving the white flag. He will genuinely believe he can salvage this. The pink 4-ball was preventing the 3 from being potted.
Yeah.
But what a safety.
That was a remarkable shot, and he's such a great tactical player. His safety play, his kicking, it really is, well, if not the best, one of the best in the world. Should change his nickname to like the Grinder or something, Phil.
Absolutely, or even the winner.
See, on table 2 there, David missed that 3-ball, and it is coming off very, very like sharp, you know. Seen quite a few kicks missed on both tables.
So a dry break for Szolnoki on table 1. The 1's on, and the 2-9 combination to follow.
Yeah, I think he has to take that 2-9 combination on. It's not straight on, as we can see. He's left that cue ball there intentionally. It's not the easiest here, but I do fancy him for this one, Phil.
Renowned shot maker Skyler Woodward. He'll enjoy the challenge of this. In she goes, right into the heart of the pocket, well judged, and with that, he gets on the board. Oliver Szolnoki's lead reduced to 2-1. When you're on the bubble in this format and you badly want to get into the top 10 players and have another couple of days of pool here in the ballroom of Stadium MK, these kind of matches are so crucial. As you might expect, after 3 racks, we're really no wiser as to who will prevail. Well, that was a terrific break, apart from the fact that the 3 and the 6 are a little tied up.
There you can see table number 2. David Al-Kaidi tried to knock the 8 ball out. Didn't get there. I think he's got a bank shot though. Is the run of Albin Ocean about to end?
He's been so close to defeat before and just about turned things around, but not this time, surely. No one after this 9 ball will be Mr. 100%.
And there it is, Phil. It's not Ocean's 11 for Albin Ocean.
Yeah, I think it was a really good narrative that as it went on, the amount of wins he had on the trot. Now, though, it has been punctuated. David Al-Kaidi winning by 5 racks to 1. And, of course, Al-Kaidi himself is going nicely in this round-robin phase. And, you know, it's a very cruel format, this, because next up on table 2, it's Joshua Filler against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. And Filler, he could possibly move to the top of the table if he wins that.
Tried to squeeze the combo in there, did Skyler. Wasn't quite on. Tried to make something happen. Things have not been going too great for Skyler Woodward. Currently 13th in the league table, 3 wins from 8. Of course, this was a must-win match, really. Oliver Szolnoki. He's in the qualification spot. ranked number 8th in the league with 4 wins, so this will help his cause. Started off really well, Szolnoki, then he had a little bit of a dip, and then he's come back good, but it can happen. A lot of pool matches is 15 games, especially at this level.
If all the points are level, then the placings are determined by racks difference. So at this stage, no one's got a crystal ball, no one knows what's going to happen, so every single rack carries great importance. Really studious player, isn't he, Szolnoki? When you see him on the practice table, when you see him out there in competition, he gives everything 100%. Concentration, to me, seems his fiercest asset.
Yeah, it doesn't look good on the eye. Not conventional, but he gets the job done. Races into a 3-1 lead over USA's Skyler Woodward.
Technically, there are so many different ways to play pool. He has a very wide stance, doesn't he?
Yeah, and the knees are bent really awkward, and he sort of twists his head on the cue.
So this is the top of the league table now. I said that if Joshua Filler were to win his next match on table 2, he would go top of the table, and that's confirmation for you. The racks difference for Albin Auschen is plus 14. The racks difference for Joshua Filler is plus 20. So with a win, he would go to 10 points, and his racks difference would definitely be superior to Auschen, and so consequently, the table topper would be swapped over again. David Al-Kadi with the win over Auschen we've just seen. He's gone up into 3rd place on 7 points together with Alexander Kazakis. Jason Shaw and Shane Van Boning with games in hand on the top 4. They have 6 points. But you can't see the 2 players we're watching on table 1. They are further down the standings, and for them, every point is gold dust. Over on table 2, just lagging, it is Filler against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz.
Mr. Filler wins the lag.
Don't think we've made this point as much as we should have done, Carl. In an alternate break race to 5, actually winning the lag gives you a sizable advantage.
Yeah, it does, especially if it goes hill. Obviously, you'll be breaking in the last rack. The break this week's been a little bit inconsistent. I think overall it's been fine. The wing ball in some matches seems to be flying in, others seems to go missing, just like this one. No balls down on the break, and an easy shot on the 1 for Skyler.
Tell you one thing that's been in short supply as Woodward errs with his positional shot. We've had 78 completed matches now, Carl. 4 whitewashes, 4 5-0s. Obviously, that's influenced by the alternate break format. But even so.
Yeah, I don't know what I would guess it would be, to be honest. I wouldn't expect there to be loads. As you said, with the alternate break. So the opening positional shot from Skyler has gone a little bit wrong. He can still cut this ball in. He might even be playing a cheeky bank shot here. Yeah, nice shot there. Purely did that to hold the cue ball for position on the 3.
And banking balls is a real strength of his.
Yeah, he would come under that bracket of somebody who pots more banks than the next person, if you like. This is also a nice shot, using that second rail up top. That always lends itself to get easier position. And now he's done the hard work. The opening 2 shots have put him in a real nice chance. If you just look at the balls now, just look at the layout. Often that's the case in 9-ball pool. There's 1 or 2 shots per rack. What may cause you a little bit of pain, and once you overcome that, everything else is just a case of connecting the dots. So in this instance, Skyler would have to, he'd have to make a real clanger not to clear the table here. And that does happen.
Yeah, I like that word, Carl, clanger. Quite Brit-centric, I think. It's a blunder, a major mistake.
This shot, he'll use the second rail near where his body is. You see off the second rail, nasty on the 9-ball, job well done.
The gap is closed. There's no doubt the most important shot was Woodward's bank on the 3. He trails Szolnoki 3-2. Still in the first frame over on table 2. Joshua Filler's attempted safety and behind the 3 ball came up short. And so an opportunity for Francisco Sanchez Ruiz to get off to a flyer. I think he was the poster boy, wasn't he, for recovering from early setbacks. He lost his first 3 matches. But then once he got a foothold, he started to play really well.
Yeah, this is, of course, a repeat of the Derby City Classic final, Phil, isn't it? Where Sanchez Ruiz went out to win that title. And as you rightly put, he's done well the last couple of days after a bit of a nightmare start.
Yes, also a repeat of the European 9-ball Championship final 6 years ago, when Sanchez Ruiz overcame a teenage Filler. Well done. 1-0 to the Spaniard. I think it's remarkable how these days are gathering momentum. Obviously, early on, it was a case of players jockeying for position, trying to get points on the board to alleviate pressure down the line. Now, though, we're getting closer and closer to the crunch.
Track 6. Skyler Woodward to break, trailing by 2 racks to 3.
Woodward breaking off, trying to tie the scores.
And that's okay. The blue 2-ball passes. There's a gap there so he can pocket that ball. Next ball's the red 3-ball in the middle. 7-ball, the brown 7, looks like it only goes in the bottom left corner. This is what a pool player does, Phil. You have a quick scan around the table and you're just looking for where the problem may be. This is exactly what Skyler's doing. He's not just thinking about this first shot. He's had a look round, he's assessed where the issues might come. In effect, he's pretty much planned the full table. And usually that might change based on a positional shot if one goes a little bit not as planned. So the purple 5 ball is on the bottom left, so that's no problem. The 6 ball is sat lovely for position to the brown 7, and if the 8 ball squeezes past the 9, well, this is just nice to tie the match up. Needs a win, doesn't he, Skyler? He's on 3 from 8, so if he wins this, he'll go on to 4 points. Oliver Szolnoki is in 8th place. He's on 4 points. So it's a big point for Skyler, this.
Yes, with 8 matches played, obviously he's in a situation where he does have games in hand on other players. But you don't want to leave yourself too much to do. Get the points in the bag.
Extension code.
It's always smart play that when a player's not used their extension in the rack. When you've got a key shot coming up, you may as well ask for it, and then you're not going to get distracted with the 10-second warning. This must be tight. Oliver's having a little look as well. Yeah, and he's made it.
Earlier on today, Albin Aushin missed a 9 ball into that same pocket that no one expected, but there's no alarms for Skyler Woodward. And so, after 6 racks here, they are inseparable. Oliver Szolnoki and Woodward are 3-3. Are the big guns
Rack 7.
in this Predator Q's Premier League pool
3 racks each.
starting to fall short with ammunition? The reason I'm saying that, on the other table, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz has just taken a 2-0 lead over Joshua Filler. Here on table 1, all to play for.
Looks like a safety shot is going to be the order of the day for Szolnoki. I'm just wondering if he can... Well, he's having a bit of an issue with some kind of bridge or some kind of gadget at the minute. Obviously he can't reach this shot, so he needs the bridge.
We are being critical when we talk about the way he addresses the ball, the way he looks, his technique. We're just being truthful, and he does look awkward. But, you know, in all sports over the years, we've seen lots and lots of unorthodox players who turn out to be very successful.
Yeah, he's just trying to get the cue ball behind that 7. Yeah, nice shot. Nice touch. He'll be happy with that, will Skyler. So Skyler's got a chance now. The kick from Szolnoki has not worked out in his favour. He's got to try and hold the cue ball for the 2.
Extension code.
Needs that cue ball to slow down. It's going a little near the 3 ball, but I think he's just okay, Phil.
That was nicely done, swinging the cue ball round off a couple of cushions. If you can be an MVP at the Mosconi Cup in consecutive years, you can handle pressure. And there's no doubt that's a pressurised environment out there right now. Joshua Filler has pulled a rack back against Sanchez Ruiz. It's 2-1 now to the Spaniard. And we're 1 ball away here from going 4-3 to Woodward. I thought he ran a good rack there, especially in the circumstances. As the match is getting closer and closer to the finishing line, sometimes those kind of clearances become a little more difficult psychologically. Woodward made no mistake. So as I say on table 2, Filler has pulled a rack back. We're in the early stages of the 4th.
This looks quite thin, doesn't it, this 2-ball, if he's going to attempt the pot. It's not going to be easy to control the cue ball. He's already had a look at the red 3-ball to see if he can combo the 8 to squeeze past the purple 5, so could possibly try and get the cue ball in behind the 7 and just kind of bank the 2-ball up towards or just past that pink 4. Speed is going to be key. He's definitely undecided. He plays very quick, does Sanchez. So this shot's got him thinking. Well, he's made a mess of that, Phil.
You don't say. Could be in all sorts of trouble here. Surely will be. That's 7, like a padded jail cell.
Yeah, what Sanchez will look at there as well is if Joshua's got an easy billiard. Billiard is where you clip the lowest ball, so the lowest ball is the 2-ball in this case, and just flick the 9. The 9 goes along the rail and pockets it. Back to table 1. Skyler Woodward is on the hill. This is a must-win point. Big moments coming up. Sanchez played a wonderful kick shot there. He actually hit the 2-ball. Oh, this is a nice break. Parks the cue ball in the centre of the table. He's got a shot of the 2. No clusters. This is all you want. When you're on the hill, you just want your chance to win the match. And if you take them, happy days. If you don't, you've got no one else to blame. Got to make sure you put a good stroke on this ball. Very easy to pull out the shot here and leave yourself short. Not for Skyler. Pounds it off the second rail. Nice shot.
Yes, and bear in mind, with 9 matches played, he'd be down the bottom of the players in terms of number of contests in which they've been involved in. So he's got games in hand on many people. And getting to 4 points with another 6 matches left. Yes, it would be, I suppose, considered precarious, but well within his capabilities to get the 2 extra wins to make sure of going through. This already the tightest match we've seen on table 1 today. But I'm sure that Oliver Szolnoki is pretty pessimistic about the outcome from his viewpoint. Especially so now.
Battled well in this match as Skyler. He was down at one point. He's done well. He's played some good shots. And this 9-ball to seal the deal.
Yes.